Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, I want to review Deadpool and Wolverine. This is obviously the most anticipated movie of this year, and yeah, I was super hyped to watch Deadpool and Wolverine because again, Hugh Jackman returns and I heard there is a bunch of cameos in it, and it is definitely an exciting and fun movie. So I think this will be a non-spoiler review and I think I will do a spoiler review in I think on Monday, because I think that's where everybody kind of agrees that that's where we do a spoiler review to wait until people saw the movie first, because it's pretty hard to talk about this movie without spoiling things, because there's a lot of stuff that they haven't spoiled yet, so that's really, really exciting. But yeah, so Deadpool and Wolverine tells a story for Wade Wilson once again, played by Ryan Reynolds, where he tries to save his timeline, you could say that, and he's working with Paradox, which is like a TVA director, or like one of the division leader, you could say that, and then he has to team up with obviously the Wolverine, but not exactly our Wolverine from the X-Men universe, but it's gonna be a different Wolverine this time around. But once again, played by Hugh Jackman, and that's all I can say about the plot, because I think it's gonna go a bit crazy as the movie goes on. But yeah, here's the thing. I think this movie are obviously really, really fun. It's really what people are expecting from Deadpool and Wolverine. It's really funny. Ryan Reynolds joke. The jokes are pretty much land for me, for the most part, so that's really, really good because I'm having a fun time watching it with a packed theaters and we all laughing at Ryan Reynolds joke, about Disney, about the budget and all that, etc., etc. That honestly, yeah, it's actually really, really fun, to see that Deadpool making fun of Marvel in a way. It's like, yeah, I mean, good for you, man. And this whole purpose of Deadpool and Wolverine is actually where try to convince the audience that hey, the MCU is back. But after watching this movie, I can see where it could go. And I will talk about it on this video actually. But yeah, before we get to that, I want to say that the action is actually well directed by shawnlevy. It's actually really, really fun, really, really just the camera movement is actually really, really cool. And it's just like every single time there is an action that you can feel the adrenaline of it. Obviously we see Deadpool and Wolverine fight. It's really, really fun to see them fight. Because the fight scene are brutal. They're not holding back. So that's a good thing. Like every single fight scene in this movie are brutal as hell, and I absolutely love that, because this feel like a true Deadpool 3 movie from the Fox universe, because people are worried that because Deadpool is in the MCU, are they gonna hold back the jokes, are they gonna hold back the violence? Like no, the violence are still there. It's still pretty much an R-rated movie, and the jokes are not even holding back, because again, Deadpool insults Disney and Marvel. I don't think anybody could do that except him. So there's that. So yeah, the chemistry also between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are great. And I especially love Hugh Jackman's acting. Where he was super serious with Deadpool. There is this one scene where he's like insulting Deadpool, and it was like, damn, like oh fuck, he totally insult Deadpool like right there and there, and it's just like, damn, dude, like I didn't expect to see his character to go that hard on Deadpool, but he did. And that really surprised me, surprised a lot of people in theaters either, because everyone was super silent when Hugh Jackman got super serious, or Logan got super serious with Deadpool there. But yeah, the costume obviously amazing. It's nice to see Wolverine in this classic costume again. That's really, really cool. Well, not again, because like he never wore the yellow spandex. They make jokes about that in the first X-Men movie, but this is the first time he wears it 24 years later. Took them that long. But you know what? Better late than never. Before that we get like an accurate costume for Wolverine. So that's really, really cool. But yeah, besides that, I think the villain itself, Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin, was good. She's not exactly great, but she's actually pretty good. I was kind of nervous, because like usually when you get an MCU movie, the female character, like the female villain, usually doesn't really well written. But I feel like for Cassandra Nova in this movie, she is pretty well written, I guess, or I guess at least she does the job in a way. So I think that's a good thing, because she's not exactly like super terrifying, but every single time she's there, it's like, yeah, I mean, she's the most powerful person, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, I don't really feel like I guess the danger or like the stakes for the characters, but then again, this is a Deadpool movie, because we all know that Deadpool and Wolverine can actually heal themselves, right? So it doesn't necessarily I don't necessarily feel any stakes because these two characters can absolutely heal out of anything. So I guess there's that. And of course the cameo. And again, not gonna spoil anything about the cameo, but I was a bit unexpected with some of the cameos, and I feel like they're not just there for the sake of being there, but they actually has a role, and like when they appear, I was like, oh, it's a cameo, cool. But they stick with the story, long enough, and have an actual purpose with the story itself, So I think that's a great thing in my opinion, And it's like, yeah, I think people will love the cameo, I think it's some people probably doesn't see that coming, But yeah, I mean, we all know from the final trailer that some character returns, for this movie. It will be really good if they don't spoil that in the final trailer, to be honest, because the way they reveal the character is like, yeah, I mean, wow, But I watched the final trailer. We all know who's gonna be there in the movie, so it's like, okay, I kind of wish I didn't watch the final trailer, but even then, it's like, there's other cameo that could surprise people as well, so that's a good thing, And yeah, the story and the pacing I think is pretty well done, because like the movie move at a fast pace in a way, but there is some cool down moment with the Wolverine characters, so that's really good, with Deadpool as well, so I think that's again that's really good, that there's actually some slow moments in the movie and allow the audience to absorb the characters moment in a way, so that's good. Also, we get to see a lot of Deadpool variants. It's really, really cool. Lady Deadpool, really cool in the movie. And yes, you will get a confirmation to see who plays Lady Deadpool. Just stick with the movie. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah. Besides that, I want to say this one more thing, guys, with the cameo. Because I was expecting the movie to go really, really wild. But I feel like I think they did enough, but not in. But it's like I was expecting a bit more from the movie, I was expecting to see many cameos in the movie, and it's just like, okay, I was expecting the movie to go really wild with the cameos, but at the same time, the way they handle the cameo, like I said before, it actually has purpose in the story, so that's a good thing. But I was also expecting the movie to go a bit more wild with the multiverse stuff, So yeah, I mean, for the multiverse movie, this is like currently the best multiverse movie by the MCU, because Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange movie doesn't necessarily deliver that promise, and this movie delivered that, but I was expecting more, because when I walked out of the movie, I was like, I'm smiling, I'm happy, that was a fun movie, but there is part of me was like, oh, man, I was a bit disappointed because the movie didn't really do wild stuff, like much more, wild stuff in the movie, especially with some of the spoiler stuff that was mentioned before, and it's like, yeah, I definitely want to talk about that more in the spoiler review. That's gonna be on Monday, so look out for that, guys. But yeah. But I do think the ending of this movie, some people are curious to see where it's gonna go. But I do think that the ending of this movie could set up like Avengers Secret War, to be honest. I'm not saying that it leads directly to Avengers Secret War, but there is a way for them to set up that Secret War movie, because I know that Avengers Secret War has a lot of cameos, so maybe they're gonna save that wild stuff with the cameos in Secret War. Maybe that's why they're holding back in this movie. Even though that this movie is still pretty wild. Don't get me wrong. They're not holding back, but also, well, they could be more wild. That's what I'm saying. So, but maybe they're going to save that for Avengers Secret War. So this movie does convince me to, hey, actually now I want to watch Avengers Secret War just to see how wild that movie goes, So hopefully it's good. We don't know who's the main protagonist for the Avengers movie, I heard the MCU that is like changing the game now, with Deadpool and Wolverine being the first step, I guess you could say that. So I think it's a good first step, even though it doesn't necessarily convince me to being an MCU fan again, but it does convince me to watch the Avengers movie, because that's gonna be the multiverse war. The Secret War is going to happen later on 2027, I think. So I guess we'll see about that. Because there is still, they haven't found any directors yet. I heard that the Russo brothers are going to return, but we don't know yet. We don't know that yet. Kevin Feige also talk about an X-Men movie in the future, so I think this could be fun. And I also think I have ideas for what could be the fourth Deadpool movie, that I personally wanted, but again, I'm gonna talk about that later on Monday on spoiler review, because I don't want people to get spoiled, before watching the movie, so I think you guys will have a fun time watching this movie, because this will be super, super fun, there is some wild stuff in it. Even though I think some of you might think that, you think that the movie is gonna go even wilder than before, but not really. You were expecting more, bro. So it didn't really give you more than that. So at least that's my opinions, but at the same time, I still love the movie. I think this is a great and fun movie. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are great together, so hopefully they can come back again together. Maybe in the fourth Deadpool movie, or maybe in Avengers Secret War. Who knows? So yeah, that's really really hype. So that's my review for Deadpool and Wolverine, guys. You guys can let me know in the comment section below if you guys already watched the movie. What do you guys think about the movie? Which one is your favorite cameo from the movie? How do you guys think the cameo was handled in the movie? How do you guys think about the Deadpool variant in the movie? Because I think I love them, to be honest. The amount of time that we see them in the movie, I was like, yeah, I absolutely love them. So hopefully we can see more of them in the future as well. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about the movie. Do you guys like it, or do you guys didn't like it? You can share your criticism in the comment section below, because I would love to hear about them. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this review, then make sure to guys slash the subscribe and like button, guys. Share the videos, usual stuff, and stay tuned for the Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review that's gonna come up on Monday, where everybody already watched the movie, because again, I have some ideas where it could go in the future, and also have my own ideas for what I wanted for a fourth Deadpool movie, because like this movie is gonna be successful, so obviously they're gonna make a fourth Deadpool movie, like no kidding, right? So I have an idea for what could be a great Deadpool 4 in the future, But again, I'm gonna share that later on my spoiler review, so stay tuned for that on Monday, guys. And I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye!